All right. Let's see. Let's get into. So, did you see what was going on the Breakfast Club?
No, because that little white boy, I don't know who he is. Neon? Mm-hmm. You could tell us about that.
He's not a white boy, though. He's a Indian Pakistani mix. But so he's a streamer. We've talked about him before on the show. He's part of like that, like not the Kai Cenat, cool guy streamer community. He's really kind of like the opposite. They're like, I wouldn't say rejects per se, but they're like the counterculture to what you see modern with the streamers. These guys talk trash, but then like they'll be apologetic when they see you in person. Mm-hmm. Like they're one of these kind of guys where they just want to be, especially
they're pussies.
Yeah, well, you can say that.
They big pussies.
Neon's one of those guys who he did a lot of rage bait content where he would just say things. He would react in a way that he felt like I'm showing my masculinity in this moment. He was a kid too. He was like 15, 16 doing all this, but he said a lot of crazy stuff. And in his defense, he was doing that to kind of rally up his base. And also, you can't like look like a sucker. Like part of that streaming community is why you have guys always talking tough and looking crazy online. It's because you can't look like you're a beta. You can't look like, even though he's,
because that's the worst thing you could do to these types of guys is look like a beta, because then you lose all their respect, you lose your fan base, you lose all your money.
Mm-hmm. And then it just makes you an easier mark. So this is where he came on to the Breakfast Club. They basically did, it's similar to what DDG did, where he streamed the interview and then they played the interview. And I ended up checking out the interview. It definitely wasn't really a fair. I'll let y'all listen to it before we get into it.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it.
No, I love Jewish people. Shalom.
You just came on here to just shit on everybody.
Nah. I
mean, wow.
Look, I got so many Jewish friends. What?
Oh my God.
Nah, you trying to get me caught up, brother?
Hey,
brother, it's great. Why you put the A at the end?
Brother is hilarious.
That was crazy.
What's the craziest situation?
You can't say that.
I seen you in Harlem with Jim Jones. What's the craziest situation? Dubai, what was the craziest situation you've been in that you didn't think you was going to make it out besides Dubai?
I've been in a lot of situations. There's a Nate Diaz thing, same thing, trolling. And
I saw that. He chased you.
He chased me. I'm not gonna like lie and say like, I had like a tough upbringing or anything. My parents.
Oh, yeah, we know that. We know.
Oh,
we can tell.
Okay.
Are your parents racist?
Huh?
Are your parents racist?
No.
I'm just trying to figure out like where, like using Harriet Tubman as a slur and the things you said on that video. I'm just wondering like what was your perception?
So wait, real quick. So you guys do understand like, so first off, trolling's not okay, right? But there like a lot of people have like back then, like even if it's as a joke, it's not good to do. But streamer world, YouTube world, whatever it is, like people make jokes like that. But like back then, before, like
only about one race of people.
No, you gotta see my no, ma'am, you gotta see my clips. My clips. I'm not gonna repeat it. But I'm not gonna repeat it. But there's no singling out. There's none of that. I was just insanely toxic. I made jokes about Indians, everyone, like any race you can imagine. It's not like singling out one.
So
let me ask you a question really quickly. Did you watch the whole interview?
I watched most of it.
Was he coming from because from this clip it seems like he's changed whatever content he's doing and he's not doing the rage bait trolling shit anymore, and he's coming from like I grew from this and I don't want to do this and I know that this is wrong. Is that the sentiment he had?
So mostly now, if you kind of watch a little bit of his streams, he's been streaming with Aiden Ross more often than not. So what he'll do, he's kind of played himself into that role a little bit where he isn't doing that as much because of kind of the blowback. So like one of the things where what he would used to do and how he used to operate, there was a guy who, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's another guy who does content where he talks about gambling. He talks about how he beats all the casinos and they kick him out and all. He has all these tattoos and stuff. And he talked about how he did a stream with Neon. He did some content with Neon. And Neon came to the house like 2 to 3 hours before the shoot time so that everybody who came in, who was working and who was doing stuff, he could introduce himself to, say, hey, this is my name, his real name and all this other stuff. He says, in a few hours, I'm going to be somebody different. And I don't want you to feel like that. And if this isn't cool with you, like, just tell me.
That's so interesting to me because these streamers are actors, essentially.
Yeah.
Like I've been like watching a little bit more of it and getting more into the clips and the different houses and stuff. And they like put on a show and they're like really good actors.
They turn up, but they're living a facade, and he's just going through that arc of I was crashing out. Because one of the things he did beforehand, there was a dance in New York called the Naughty Dance. I don't know if you're familiar with that. and it was basically you looking like you're stabbing yourself because they were talking about you're stabbing a dude whose name was like Naughty or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was a gang thing.
Auntie too old, hun.
So he did that on stream, and people were telling him what he was doing, and he still kept doing it. During this interview, I think some of the stuff that I didn't like was the fact that Charlamagne said something that I don't really agree with. And he said there's no value in shock, being a shock jock.
Literally, shock value is a term for a reason because there is value in shock. Like you gotta make it provocative. You gotta get the people going.
To me, it just sounds so insane because for some reason he tries to act
Charlamagne
like
used to sniff seats.
Yeah, they talked about that during the interview.
When people left, like Charlamagne's whole like they had they used to have compilations on Breakfast Clubs of like his most shocking moments, and those are the moments that went the most viral. Charlamagne saying that shock doesn't have any value after Birdman walking out is one of your best clips after Ray J crashing out got you on the map is crazy.
No, it's insane
how quick we forget.
It's a revisionist history if you ask me. Like that's exactly what he's trying to do to try to not show that no, that's where you come from. The thing about what you do is you get famous from the shock and then you apologize on your back end. That's all you gotta do.
That's exactly what this boy is doing.
And that's what Charlamagne is doing.
Yeah, Charlamagne did that.
And so for him to try to paint this picture, that's what kind of bothered me about it. And I wanted to see if you had seen any clips about it because a lot of people were saying, oh, they went across the line. I think Aiden Ross he sent a comment to Neon Stream during the interview, and he was saying like, yo, they're trying to press you. They're trying to make you look crazy. He did this one thing I hate that people on his side are trying to make them say free Palestine. Like that's supposed to be some type of code word of showing that you're free or something like this. I hate stupid stuff like that. But there was this point where I'm looking at it, I'm like, Charlamagne is so full of it because the only reason you're going at Neon the way that you're going on is because he's not into your crew. If this was somebody who was in your network or in your crew.
If Schultz was sitting there.
If Schultz, anybody, like I said, he cool with Kai. He kept speaking highly of Kai. If there were any of those gentlemen there, you wouldn't be bringing that kind of vigor. And even though that's the reason why I enjoyed the Breakfast Club was because you got interviews like that where you press people, you put them on and hit the fire to them. For them to bring it out now when we haven't really seen it like that in a while, to me is really lame. Like even Just Hilarious was acting really insane up there. Like she's got some audacity.
I feel like they felt like they could bully him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You could tell.
But you don't think they kind of pressed DDG a little bit when he was up there?
Not as much as they was doing with Neon.
Okay.
I think
couldn't speak to it because I didn't see this.
Yeah, the one that I saw with DDG was pretty fair game. And I thought they gave him ample opportunity to speak. They was cutting Neon off. They was trying to, bring up old stuff and convolute a bunch of different things that happened. So like even one of the questions, hold on, I'll let you go. But one of the questions I didn't like that Just Hilarious asked, where she was like, I can believe that you changed. And that's not, to me, that's not a proper way to get that conversation or to get the desired answer.
Not shorty that was just swinging out homophobic slurs like a couple months ago.
She still do it.
Like, come on.
Like to me, it would have been better. It would have been like to give him examples of ways that he changed. Like give us examples of things you've done to show that you've changed. Mm-hmm. That would have been maybe a better question. But I could just tell they were attacking him. They were trying to highlight his chat and some of the racist stuff they were saying in the chat. Like it just felt very bad faith, more so than their interviews have been of recent.
Do you think they brought him up there just to like flame him?
Well, Charlamagne tried to bring that up too, where he said, well, if we were being assholes, we wouldn't bring you up. And I felt like that's big cap.
Because we would bring you up just to be assholes. If you have a big enough platform, then sure. Yeah.
If it's beneficial to both of us and he's pulling in, hundreds of thousands of people in his streams. Yeah. It's very worth it. So that's what I mean. Like Charlamagne does these things where he tries to paint himself like he's like
holier than thou.
Yeah, than he's ever been. It's just like, dude, that's not you. Like you're great at what you do because you've been doing it for as long as you have, and you cut through and aren't scared to be like, hey, that was always the thing I liked about Charlamagne. You cut through and you were not scared to ask the question everybody in the room wanted to know.
Yes.
And I feel like we've lost that to a degree with him. Mm-hmm. Like we're not getting that.
This was a little. Do you think it was just bullying a little bit?
Yeah. I think I was at 100%. But like I said, it just, to me, like we've talked about with the Joy Taylor interview, he had a lot of tact with that question. They carried that interview where we still got what we wanted to hear, but we didn't have to make her an embarrassment. They didn't do that with him.
Do you think that's because Charlemagne feels like he has to be more careful with women now because of his track record?
For sure. I think the biggest fear Charlemagne has is somebody saying, "Oh, let's go talk to that girl in South Carolina," like Joe said.
Do you think that if Neon is a woman, they would have had the same like vitriol and like everything for her that they would?
Yeah, if he said the same things, I think so. If that girl was out of the loop like Neon was, but had the same kind of statements and the same kind of outrage that Neon had been responsible for, I think 100% they would do that.
Okay,
I can see that. To me, it's the problem is when it's in house and you don't bring that same energy in house to the people that are coming up now. Like we haven't got a dope interview like that in a while. For me, if you ask me. I think
I don't really watch Breakfast Club anymore.
I think a lot of them have been softballs. I think there's been here and there good questions and good moments, but this was the first time I seen them do a full court press on somebody in a long time. This is like I'm talking about Lauren LaRosa was in on it.
So one more question though. When you say that, it makes me think the people who know there would be a full court press on them, do you think they're going to Breakfast Club? Like a lot of people are now scared to go to Breakfast Club. A lot of people go up there and be like, I was scared to do this interview. People who you think like wouldn't like, why are you scared to do this interview?
Yeah, Neon's that's kind of his thing, whereas like that's part of is disrespecting him. Like that's kind of like where he's kind of taking his content a little bit, because he had this one not too long ago where he was with this rapper and they was playing basketball, and even after the dude missed, he'd be like, give me the ball back. And then Neon would just give him the ball back and then Neon basically let him beat him in basketball, even though Neon plays the ball really good. So that's where
I don't get that, because if he can't look like a beta, what?
But this is his new thing now. This is
the new personality.
Because at first he would talk trash. Then when they talked, he would act like, I'm sorry, my bad. Like that was part of his thing that he would do. Like that was also a big part. But he would talk big trash when it was just him sitting in the room, nobody to check him. But anytime somebody checked him, he would fold, and that would be part of his character.
Okay, so he was always a big pussy.
Yeah, that was part of his character in that regard.
Yeah. He's just a bigger pussy now.
The instigating, I think the instigating is what stopped it. So now he don't have to do it anymore, because everybody
has
knows
his platform.
No, but everybody knows what he's done in the past, so they can just rehash those old moments. So every time you say or do something, they just rehash those moments with you and all that. So to me, like I said, I feel bad for him, but I think in the same way, this is kind of like part of his angle, and he can kind of use this as a moment. I thought it was really just lame on their behalf, because they didn't even dap the man up. They was just giving him the pound. They didn't give the man no handshake or nothing when he was leaving.
Is a pound not fine for?
Bro, you could give this man a dap. You could shake this man's hand after you just did that interview with him. At the very least.